The television cameras zoomed in on Jackson Hart's anguished face, tears glistening under the studio lights. He looked into the lens, voice cracking. "Emily, my love, if you can hear me, please come home. We all miss you so much." The town of Maple Creek watched, hearts heavy, as Jackson pleaded for his missing wife. Yellow ribbons appeared on lampposts, volunteers printed flyers, and search parties combed the woods. Jackson was everywhere, thanking supporters, recounting their last "I love you," describing a life now empty. The community rallied around him, seeing only a devoted husband lost in grief. But behind the scenes, detectives noticed small inconsistencies in his story. They listened for the notes that rang false, the details that didn't quite fit. While the public saw a man in pain, investigators saw a puzzle with a missing piece. Jackson's performance was flawless, but seasoned eyes saw a thread waiting to be pulled. Sympathy filled the town, but suspicion quietly grew in the police station. The search for Emily was on, but so was the search for the truth. Sometimes the smallest thread can unravel everything. To outsiders, Jackson and Emily Hart were the golden couple. College sweethearts, successful careers, a beautiful home, and a life filled with laughter and community events. Their social media overflowed with perfect moments, mountain hikes, European vacations, dinner parties, and charity work. Jackson was a respected financial advisor. Emily ran a beloved art gallery. They seemed to complement each other in every way, his charm, her quiet strength. Neighbors saw them gardening, jogging, planning a future together. Their life looked flawless, a modern fairy tale in Maple Creek. No one suspected trouble. Their happiness was the town's pride. But pictures can lie, and perfection can hide cracks. The world saw a storybook romance, but not every storybook has a happy ending. Behind closed doors, the Hart's perfect life was unraveling. Friends noticed Jackson's possessiveness, his cutting jokes, Emily's growing withdrawal. She canceled plans, seemed anxious, and often sought Jackson's approval before speaking. Public arguments became harder to hide. Emily appeared with unexplained bruises, always offering excuses. Jackson criticized her spending, monitored her calls, and isolated her from friends. Emily defended him, insisting it was just a rough patch. But the control was suffocating, her independence slowly eroded. To outsiders, Jackson was the doting husband. But to those who looked closer, the gilded cage was clear. It was a crisp autumn morning, Emily's favorite for her daily run. Jackson claimed their morning was normal, coffee, a goodbye kiss, Emily leaving at 7. But Emily never returned, missed her gallery opening and skipped a lunch with her sister Sarah. Sarah, alarmed, called Jackson, who seemed oddly calm, and suggested Emily was just running errands. But Emily was never late or unreachable. Sarah called the police, and the search began. At the Hart home, police found everything in place, Emily's car, purse, and keys, except her phone and smartwatch. Jackson repeated his story, appearing cooperative and concerned. Search teams scoured the park, volunteers called her name, but dusk brought only dread. The woods grew silent. Emily had vanished without a trace. The town's hope faded as the hours passed. The perfect routine had been shattered, and the first real questions began to surface. With few leads, investigators turned to Emily's digital trail, her phone and smartwatch. Her phone's last signal wasn't from the park, but near the Hart home at 7:45 a.m. If she'd gone running, her phone should have pinged towers along the trail. The real breakthrough came from her smartwatch. Data showed Emily woke early, heart rate normal until 7:38 a.m. when it spiked to panic levels. This wasn't exercise, it was terror. The watch recorded frantic movement, then flatlined at 7:45. The digital evidence told a silent, chilling story. Emily's final moments were captured not in words, but in data. The devices contradicted Jackson's every claim. Technology had become the case's most reliable witness. Emily's smartwatch revealed a violent struggle at home, not a peaceful run. The timeline was precise, her heart rate spiked at 7:38, movement frantic, then silence. Investigators checked Jackson's fitness tracker next. He claimed a calm morning, but his device showed intense activity at the same time as Emily's distress. His heart rate soared, steps surged, and GPS tracked him not to work, but to a remote quarry. He stopped there for 15 minutes before heading to his office. The digital footprints of both Harts told the same story, one of violence and a cover-up. The devices mapped out the crime and the attempted deception. The truth was in the data, and it pointed to Jackson. The search for Emily's body had a new direction. Armed with digital evidence, detectives confronted Jackson. In the interrogation room, they showed him Emily's heart rate spike, his own tracker's frantic data, and the GPS route to the quarry. Jackson's explanations crumbled: malfunctioning devices, wild animals, anything but the truth. But the data was irrefutable. "Your body is telling us a story," a detective said. "It's telling us you weren't showering, you were fighting." The GPS showed his detour to the quarry, not to work. Every denial was met with another digital timestamp, another contradiction. The man who had wept on TV was now exposed by the very technology he trusted. The perfect alibi unraveled, replaced by a timeline of violence and deceit. The evidence was overwhelming. Jackson was trapped by his own devices. The truth, once hidden, was now undeniable. The case had broken wide open. In the silence, Jackson broke down. He confessed. That morning, Emily told him she was leaving. Rage took over, an argument turned violent, and he pushed her. She fell, fatally injured. Panicked, he staged her disappearance, took her phone and watch, and buried her at the quarry. He returned home, played the grieving husband, and pleaded on TV. Jackson detailed every step of his cover-up, believing he could outsmart everyone. But he hadn't counted on the silent witnesses on their wrists. Technology remembered what he wanted to forget. His confession, recorded and complete, sealed his fate. The search for Emily, and her killer, was over. With Jackson's confession and digital evidence, justice was swift. He was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. Maple Creek mourned, stunned by the truth behind the facade. Emily's family turned grief into action, founding the Emily Hart Foundation to support victims of domestic violence. The foundation raises awareness, offers resources, and teaches others to recognize hidden abuse. Emily's story became a beacon of hope, a warning that appearances deceive. In the end, technology spoke for Emily when she could not. The truth was told, and justice was served. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us create more great content for you.